Hello boys and girls of 11th class. Welcome to your English Kaksha again. In this class we are going to start your next topic, that is the Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's role. This is your 5th chapter and that is written by Nani Palkhivala. In this chapter we will come to know about the condition of the earth and what contribution should be done to save this earth and to make it healthy and safe for the human survival. First of all, we are having some expressions in the beginning. We will read it and then after we will start our chapter. Here first is a holistic and ecological view. Holistic and ecological view means a complete view of the whole thing, keeping in mind the interrelationship of constituents among themselves and to the environment. Holistic means that are related to interrelationship of constituents, and ecological means that is related to the environment. That's why it is called a complete view. Fine. Sustainable development. Sustainable development means a development that can be continued for a long time, and this expression can come in your short questions. Languish. Languish means forced to stay somewhere. Languish means forced to stay somewhere. Next is ignominious darkness. Ignominious darkness. That means disgrace and humiliating darkness. Next we are having inter alia. Inter alia means among other things. Next expression is decimated. That means destroyed. Next is catastrophic depletion. Catastrophic depletion means disastrous exhaustion. Next you are having transcending concern. Transcending means surpassing. That is exchangeable concern. That is called transcending concern. Now we will see what is given in the first passage, that is given separately here. The following article was published. The following article was written by Nani Palkhivala and published in the Indian Express on 24 November 1994. Actually, this chapter is an article that was written by Nani Palkhivala and was published in the Indian Express on 24 November 1994. The issue that he raised regarding the declining health. Declining means falling health of this earth continue to have relevance. Relevance means appropriateness. The questions or the things that he raised in this article are having the appropriateness even today. So now we will read this and we will see what kind of questions he raised and what contributions was demanded by the time to save this ailing planet, that is called earth, to make it good for health or to make it healthy for the human survival. Let's see the text. One cannot recall any moment in the world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire race so completely and so rapidly. Rapidly means so quickly, as the green movement which started nearly 25 years ago. Here in these lines we are learning about the green movement. As in the beginning, in the heading of the chapter it is given the green movement's role. Here we are learning what is green movement and how it was started and where it was started. In these lines it is said one cannot recall any movement. If we will think for a long journey of the movement, then only history we will come to know about beyond the imagination of the human race, that a movement was started very rapidly and it was started nearly 25 years ago. Actually, in 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand and this started the Green Movement. And this movement has not looked back. Even then, since from that time also, this movement is working for the welfare of our environment. That's why it is said this movement has not looked back. It is continuously progressing for the welfare of our environment. We have shifted one hope irrevocably from the mechanistic view to holistic and ecological view of the world. It is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary. Let me tell you first this line. We have shifted. We have shifted means we have changed one hope to another. Irrevocably. Irrevocably means not changed from the mechanistic view, but we are changing our hopes, but one view that we are mechanistic, we are using machinery, we are not changing this view. We are not keeping the things in our mind to save this world, to save this environment of the world. It is a shift in human perceptions. Perceptions means thoughts. It is a change in human thoughts as revolutionary, as quick as the Copernicus, who introduced in 16th century and taught mankind that Earth and other planets revolve around the sun. Means this Earth and other planets move around the sun. And for the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that Earth itself is a living organism. And from that only people came to know that Earth is a living organism. It is a living planet, an enormous being, and it is too big, and of this big planet we are the parts on which we are living. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved, even though it is having its own needs that should be respected and saved. The Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good steward. Good steward means selfless service provider of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy of future generation. Legacy means inheritance, जिसे आप संपत्ति बोलते हो, right? And then after looking at the signs of this earth in which it was shown a patient and about the declining health of this earth, we begin to realize our moral duties, that we should be good steward, we should be selfless duty provider to this earth, where we can be the responsible trustees of the inheritance that could be given to our future generation. If today we will save our world or our earth or our environment, only then our future generation can enjoy it or can live in it. Now in these lines, we will read about the sustainable development. As I told you, it will come in your short questions also, so the answer can be taken from these text lines. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and the Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. It is the answer. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. For example, without stripping the natural world of resources future generation would need. If today we are saving, then only future can be saved. And it was popularized by the World Commission on Environment in 1987. In the next lines, we will read about the world's most dangerous animal, and this question always comes in your long questions. In the zoo at Lusaka in Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, in the Lusaka in Zambia is the name of the place where a zoo is located, and in this zoo a cage is settled. In this cage one notice is there, and on this notice it is written, what is written? The world's most dangerous animal, that inside the cage there is no animal but a mirror when you see yourself. On this notice it is written that the world's most dangerous animal, but when you are looking in that cage, there is only a mirror in which you can see yourself. It means human being is the most dangerous animal of the world. Thanks to the awareness how now dawned upon the most dangerous animal of the world, he has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Here it is said, we should be thankful to the theories or the research that has been done to show the awareness for this dangerous animal of the world, that is human being, because he is shifting from one hope to another and from one system to another. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million long living species with which mankind share this earth, and even though one data was also disclosed in which scientists have listed, catalogued means listed, about 1.4 million species that are sharing this earth with the human beings. Estimates vary widely in regards to still uncatalogued living species, even though many unlisted things were there in which species are shown but they are not named. Biologists are identifying about 3 to 100 million other living species that are still languish. Languish means they are forced to stay somewhere. They are unnamed, and they are living in humiliating darkness. Ignominious darkness means humiliating darkness. They are living anywhere, in any condition, but they are not reckoned. One of the early international commission which dealt inter alia means among other things, with the question of ecology and environment was the Branded Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its member, Mr. L.K. Jha. Here, one international commission which was named as Branded Commission, and the Indian member, one of the Indian member of this Branded Commission was Mr. L.K. Jha, who raised a question. What was the question? That we are to leave our successors a scorched planet or advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes and ailing environment. What we are doing, what we are giving our future generation. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four. Here in these lines, four principal biological systems are shown. What are that? First is fisheries, second is forest, third is grasslands, and fourth is croplands. These are the major biological system on which the foundation of the global economic system is based. In addition to supplying our food, these four economic systems provide virtually all the raw material for industry except mineral and petroleum derived synthetics. We all know that the raw material is supplied from these ecosystems, but the mineral and petroleum are the natural resources. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching as unsustainable level, a point where the productivity is being impaired. Here it is said, in large areas of the world, human beings are claiming for these four systems and these are on unsustainable level. When one thing can be sustainable, when we are protecting it, but here today it is going unsustainable because people are using it continuously, and a point where their productivity is being impaired, even though its productivity is also, it is spoiled or it is impaired. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted to barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. And what is the result of this? Fisheries are finishing. They are collapsing, forests are disappearing, grasslands are converted to barren wasteland, and croplands deteriorate. In a protein-conscious and protein-hungry world, overfishing is common every day. People are becoming protein-conscious and they are protein-hungry. That's why overfishing is included in their everyday food. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated. Decimated means destroyed in order to procure firewood for cooking. Even though people are using the forest wood for their firewood for the cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. Even though the things that are being cooked in the pot are not so expensive, rather than the things that are put under it to cook it. Since the tropical forest is, in the word of Dr. Meiser, the powerhouse of the evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Even though Dr. Meiser said that powerful evolution, that is the species of the life, are actually facing extinction because of this destruction. Which destruction we are talking here? We are talking here about the fisheries are collapsing, forests are disappearing, and grasslands are converted into barren wasteland. And due to this only, many species are facing extinction. They are disappearing from this earth. It has been well said, the forests precede mankind, desert follow, and the world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year, and the growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. This is the data that was collected in the year 2000 when the need of the fuel wood was shown. And it is said when at that time only 40 to 50 million acres a year forest was eroding. Eroding means they were twisting, they were destroying. And the World Bank estimate that five-fold increase in the forest, planting was needed at the time to cope up with that situation. James Speth, who was the president of the World Resources Institution, said the other day, "We are saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. It was more than that, the expectations that were shown in 2000 year." Article 48 of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. In the Article 48 of the Constitution, it was clearly said that the state shall bear to protect and to improve the environment and to save the forest and wildlife of the country. But what causes endless anguish is the fact, but what is the main reason is the fact that even though in the country the laws are never respected and nor enforced. For example, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability and bonded labor shall be abolished, but they flourish shamelessly even after 44 years of the operation of the Constitution. These things are flourish. They are flourishing day by day. They are not ending. They are not decreasing. That's why it is said, even though this law is also not enforced or respected in our country. A recent report of our Parliament's Estimates Committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion. Catastrophic depletion means disastrous exhaustion of India's forest over the last 4 decades. India, according to reliable data, is losing its forest at the rate of 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless, even though the lands that were officially designated as forest land, जिन्हें forest land कहा गया था, even though they are treeless today. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by the government statistics. Even though the data that was presented by the government, that is also not correct, because it is 8 times of the rate indicated by that data. A 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United States or United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. After that, a 3-year study used by the satellites and aerial photography was done, and it was conducted by United Nations. In that, it was also warned that environment has been deteriorated so badly and it is in its critical condition. There can be no doubt that the growth of the world population is one of the major or the strongest factor deteriorating or distorting the future of human society. It took mankind more than 1 million years to reach the first billion. That was the world population around the year 1800, and by the year 1900 a second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 million or billion. The present world population is estimated by 5.7 billion. Every 4 days the world population increases by 1 million. That is the scenario of 20th century. But now what is it? We all know. Fertility falls on income rises, education spreads and health improves. Thus development is the best contraceptive, but development itself may not be possible if the present increase the number continues. Here the best contraceptive is suggested, that is only development. The rich get richer and the poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. More children doesn't mean more worker, merely more people without work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized. Sterilized means they should be injected to control the population, but there is no alternative to voluntarily family planning without introducing an element of coin. The choice is really between control of population and perception of poverty. Here, the problem is not only population, but poverty is also there. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the entire population of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the conditions of India would doubt the hope of the people would die because of hungry herdsmen unless population control is given topmost priority. It means, first of all, the attention should be given to the human population. If human population will increase day by day, then there should be starvation. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern, the survival not just for the people but for the planet. But here in the human history, first thing is shown that is for the planet's concern, not for the people's concern. If our planet is safe, only then we can be saved. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise. It is our passport for the future. The emerging new world vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. And it is said that it is the era of responsibility. And if in this era of responsibility we are taking the responsibility to save our world, only then we can save our future. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this era of responsibility, but a transformation would be effective if more business shared the view of chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Woolard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He said, our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. Here, it is said that business doesn't mean that we should focus on the productivity only. The chief environmental officer, who was DuPont, he said our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. Productivity should not be done on the basis of the environmental harms. If we are protecting environment, then only productivity should be done. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her felicitous words. No generation has a free hold on this earth. We all have is a life tenancy. Tenancy means possession. We all are having the possession of life on this earth with a full repairing lease, because we are having this earth on lease. Lease means on rent. If we will repair it, only then we are having the possession. If we will save it, only then we can save our life. In the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, we have borrowed it from our children. This is the inheritance of our children, from whom we have borrowed it. It is not our tenancy, we are having it for our children. Ultimately, the conclusion is that if we are saving our earth, only then the future generation can enjoy or can have their life on this earth. So I think each and everything from your chapter, the Ailing Planet, is clear to you. Now the questions that are given in understanding the text or talking about the text are sufficient to do from this chapter. In the next video, we will come here with the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye.